Fire Red and Leaf Green were some of my favorite Pokemon games growing up. And although the original Gen 1 versions had its many glitches and issues, Fire Red and Leaf Green fixed these issues and balanced the game out. So in the spirit of reminiscing today, we're going to be looking at the 5 most underrated Pokemon from Fire Red and Leaf Green in no particular order. So starting off this list, I have Muck. First off, he has a 500 base stat with 105 attack and HP and also 100 special defense. Not to mention it gets access to Toxic, which is one of the best moves in the game, along with Sludge and Sludge Bomb for stab. And because the physical and special split was different in Gen 3, all poison moves are physical, so Muck is able to take advantage of his high attack stat. Coupling that with its special defense and moves like Acid Armor that increase defense by 2 stages and setup moves like Minimize, Muck can be a force to be reckoned with. It definitely does not get the credit it deserves. Now next on the list is Kangaskhan. Now most people overlook Kangaskhan because of Snorlax, but nonetheless Kangaskhan boasts a 490 base stat with 100 HP, 95 attack, and 90 speed along with a pretty solid special defense and defense. It gets access to moves like Dizzy Punch and Mega Punch and also has a pretty wide move pool, so you can teach it moves like Brick Break, Shadow Ball, and even Rock Slide. So in my opinion, Kangaskhan is a little bit more balanced than Snorlax because of its speed, but if you're looking for a heavy hitter, obviously Snorlax outclasses it. Not to mention Kangaskhan is a little bit late game and also pretty hard to find in the Safari, but even still, Kangaskhan is just too good not to include on this list. Now for the third Pokemon on this list, I have Nidoqueen. Now most people go for Nidoking, which I completely understand as he's my favorite Pokemon, but Nidoqueen is also really good as well. She has the same base stat total as Nidoking at 505, but is a little bit more bulky than her male counterpart with 90 HP and slightly higher defensive stats. But she also can hit hard with 92 attack and a decent 75 special attack. In addition to really good stats, Nidoqueen also has a crazy large move pool just like Nidoking. She's able to learn a multitude of different type moves, which can help you hit a wide range of different Pokemon with super effective damage. So you can either make it into a hybrid and take advantage of its high attack and bulk, or you can make it into a pure stall with moves like Toxic and Rest. But either ways, its typing, its move pool, and stats make it a great Pokemon that unfortunately tends to get overlooked. Now I know Jynx gets a lot of hate because its original design looks like blackface and also it's just not very pleasant to look at. But when it comes down to it, Jynx really is a great Pokemon. And its base stat may only be 455, but it boasts a very high 115 special attack and 95 speed and special defense, making it a fast, hard-hitting, and slightly tanky to special attacks. On top of that, it gets access to amazing stab moves like Ice Punch and Blizzard, and you can teach it moves like Psychic or even Ice Beam from TMs. Not to mention, Jynx is very useful for the Elite Four. It can help you take down lands with no sweat. And not to mention its Psychic typing and high special attack, it's going to do quite a bit of damage against the Elite Four. And overall, it's the best non-legendary offensive ice type in the game, and it's extremely overhated, which is why it's on this list. Now the last Pokemon on the list is Electabuzz. And like Kangaskhan, because he's late game and harder to find, people often overlook this Pokemon, and unfortunately he does have some good competition with Raichu and Jolteon, as they're much easier to obtain. However, Electabuzz is still an amazing choice, and it has a pretty solid 490 base stat with 95 special attack, 105 speed, and a pretty solid attack stat of 83. Its stats are very similar to Raichu's, it just has a little bit more special attack, but Raichu has more speed. But in my opinion, what separates it from Raichu is it has a slightly better move pool, which can help with coverage on your team and overall hit more Pokemon for super effective damage. And I almost forgot to mention, Jolteon doesn't even learn electric moves. Well, it technically does, but in the beginning when you get Eevee, it's already level 25. So it's not going to be able to learn Thunder Shock, and the only other electric move it has is Thunder, which is learned at level 52. So you're going to have to teach it a TM, and the only one you get for free is Shockwave. So you'll have to teach it Thunder from the TM from the power plant, or just gamble and get the Thunderbolt TM from the casino in Celadon City. But as I said, Electabuzz is late game, so you are going to have to wait until you get the HM Surf. Which is why most people go for Raichu, because Pikachu is just so early game that it just makes the most sense for most people's playthroughs. But when it comes down to it, Jolteon has better stats overall with more speed and special attacks, so it is technically the best of all three. But as I said, in my opinion, Electabuzz has the best move pool, so it really just comes down to preference and if you want to be patient or not. But it really is unfortunate for Electabuzz because by the time you get to him, you more than likely have a full team, and it doesn't make much sense to replace one of them, which is why unfortunately he is also on this list. And there you have it, guys. Those are my top top 5 underrated Pokemon from Fire Red and Leaf Green. Let me know in the comments who you believe belongs on this list and why. And also make sure you like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I plan on trying to go through each and every generation, breaking down lists of my favorite, least favorite, and most underrated Pokemon. But anyways, that's enough yapping, so until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.